Good morning. I'm Mukesh Chatter, CEO of MoneyAisle. We run fully automated reverse auctions among financial institutions, banks, and credit unions for the benefit of the consumers for bank CDs, for savings. And recently we launched, actually, as part of this conference a week ago, we launched auto loan program and auto refinancing program. As you know, as a consumer, the biggest challenge as you go out to look for auto loan or auto refinancing is there's a huge variance on rates among banks. And the variance actually gets much worse if the credit score goes below the very top tier, which is like 15% of the population, what they call super prime. So as soon as the credit score drops below that, in fact, all the rates advertised are for those, and anything below, the variance could be as high as 2 to 10%. To make matters worse, there's a dealer markup on top of that. When you go to a dealer and get a loan from them or through them, they put on another 1 to 4% on the car you buy. So by the time you add all of that together, the variance becomes much higher and the money you are paying gets much higher. So that's a challenge we as a consumer face, all of us face. On the other hand, if you look at the financial institution side, whether it's a credit unions or banks, they got a different issue. Their customer acquisition cost is very high. They are the one who pay for the dealer markup part of that. So that's money going out of their pocket. It could be as low as $400 for a $20,000 loan, or it could be as high as $1,600. So it's a huge range in there. And the customer, on the other hand, if a bank or credit union does not want to pay the dealer their markup, the kickback, if you will, then what happens is that they will have to source the customers on their own. And that consumer acquisition cost is very high. And if you're advertising online today and you want to be in the first page and the top, on the first page search results, you're talking about close to $12 to $15 or $16 per click. 2% conversion, do the math. You're talking about anywhere between $600 to $1,200 to acquire a customer. So that's the challenge which an institution is facing. And what we, as a MoneyAisle, do is actually address that problem by running these reverse auctions. It's great for the consumer, and I'll talk about why it's good for the banks too, and credit unions too. So Brian has set up the, so we have this is our homepage, and we are only focusing on auto loan and refinancing today, as we talked about bank and CD savings earlier in the previous Finovate. It's a small, simple form, 8 fields to be filled out. We want to demo you for auto refi. And you don't have to fill out a big form. You don't have to go from bank to bank or credit unions and fill out the forms and then get the results and then compare the rates. We actually, within such a simple field, 2 minutes, now we are running an auction. It's engines are actually starting to bid. And there are a number of credit unions who are participating. They are sending their bids out. It's completely automated. There's no human involved here. The engines are configured, and there's optimization algorithms in there in real time computing bids for the benefit of the consumer. And the results are, as you'll see, it will give the results for 24 months all the way to 72 months. And these are, the consumer has a choice. They can compare and see what result do they want. If they like the results, they can pick and choose anyone they wish and for the duration they like. And what we also show is the savings on the right-hand side of how much will they save per year. The rates are much better because, not only you're finding a good rate, but you're also actually having an active act of competition among financial institutions for the benefit of the consumer. So it addresses those two problems. You also had a chart, so once you select, so that was done for excellent credit. And then we are doing, so we want to show you, once you've done it for excellent credit, now if, let's say the credit score was lower. Let's say it's about near prime, as they call it. It's around 620 or something like that. Then what happens, what the results are, and that's where the variance actually gets even larger. So we'll do a very quick demo for you, another one. And you also have a choice, actually, to set a rate alerts as a consumer. If somebody doesn't like what they got, they can say, if the rate goes below this or my monthly payment drops below this, and notify me. And we do that. So it's ultimate tool where the institutions are bidding, and institutions like it because their acquisition cost is low, and they only pay at success. And that's the key thing. So there is no ad expenditure. They don't have to pay dealer the markup. So the whole business of having markups and kickbacks, and that's all gone. We disintermediate, in effect, what exists as these middleman intermediaries. And make it a success-based only. So banks pay us a small fee at the end of if the consumer converts. So they don't have the expense on the advertising side of paying for the clicks either. So the consumer acquisition costs come down. So as you could see, the different results, and we could talk about the different changes, and you can modify the auctions. It's very, very simple. Within 30 seconds or less, you can get it. The idea is, if you look at the savings what people are getting, I'll give you some real-life examples. Just yesterday, a couple of consumers actually sent us emails. One actually saved $52 a month. Another one actually saved close to $150 a month. Think about it. $150 a month is 2 years' worth of auto insurance premium for that particular individual. So in effect, and I'll urge all of you to do that, try refinancing today. Run the auction, find out how much you're saving. Even if you save $15 or $20 a month, a small amount, over the loan of 5 years, you can get 1 year insurance premium effectively paid for. So that's the power of the tool, and that's what you can get with it. And it's completely transparent. If two credit unions or banks are tied, we actually break the tie based on the random number. By the way, we were covered in USA Today as quite fortuitously. You might want to look at it, talking about how revolutionary this idea is, because there's hardly anybody out there who could actually do it. So the next thing what we are doing is we are working on the partnership piece, where we are actually white labeling this platform. We already have a number of these things going in the pipeline, and they're all, and we are making good traction on that. Last piece is that so we in effect are creating a transaction-centric model, which is an alternative to advertising-centric model, if you will. And it's getting good traction, although naysayers of the world keep telling us it cannot be done. You are nobody, never done it before. How could a little startup company can challenge all the different bigger players, deeply entrenched dealer network, ad-centric model? Well, the bottom line is